Hey everyone, have you ever found yourself staring at two sentences that look almost the same, but you just know they mean something totally different? Well, if so, you are in exactly the right place. Today, we're going to crack the code on one of the trickiest puzzles in English grammar, the present perfect simple versus the present perfect continuous. Let's kick things off with a classic example. So, which is it? I've read that book, or I've been reading that book. You know, the short answer is they're both correct. But, and this is a big but, they do not mean the same thing. Nailing the tiny difference between them is the key to unlocking a whole new level of fluency. So let's start by looking at our very first clue. First up, we've got the present perfect simple. The best way to think about this tense is that it's all about the final score, the finished product, the result. It's focused on what happened and, more importantly, why that thing matters right now. Now, putting it together is pretty straightforward. You just need your subject, you add have or has, and then you follow it with the past participle of the verb. So you get things like, I have finished, she has left, or if you're asking a question, have you seen this film? Simple enough, right? But the real magic is in how we use it. Okay, so this is the core idea right here. We use the present perfect simple when we're talking about something that happened in the past, but has a direct consequence, a result, in the present. Take the example, I've lost my keys. That's not just a story about the past. The result is, I can't get into my house right now. See? It creates a strong link between the past action and the present situation. So, if you're going to remember just one thing, let it be this one word. For the present perfect simple, just think result. Is the action finished? Are we focusing on the consequence of that action? If the answer is yes, this is the tense you need. All right, let's move on and see how this contrasts with our second clue. And now for part 2 of our grammar puzzle, the present perfect continuous. Okay, so if the simple tense was all about the destination, this tense, well, this one, is all about the journey. It's not about the end result, it's about the process itself. The formula here just adds a couple of extra ingredients to the mix. We still have our subject and have or has, but then we add been plus the ing form of the verb, like I have been waiting or he has been working. That been and that ing are your big clues that we're talking about an ongoing process. And this slide really nails the main job of this tense. Its whole focus is on duration. How long has something been happening? Look at that example. I've been studying for 3 hours. The main point here isn't that I've finished studying. No, the point is the 3 hours I've put in. The emphasis is all on the time, the activity, the process. So here it is, our second key word. For the present perfect continuous, the word you want to burn into your memory is duration. Is the action still going? Or maybe it just stopped. Are we trying to emphasize how long it's been going on? That is your cue right there. All right. We've got our 2 main clues. Now it's time for the big reveal. Let's put these 2 tenses head to head and see the difference in sharp, crystal clear relief. And here it is, laid out perfectly. It really does just boil down to this one simple contrast. On one side, you've got the present perfect simple, and it's all about the result or the completion. I've read that book means the action is totally finished. Done. But on the other side, you've got the present perfect continuous, which is focused on duration or activity. I've been reading that book, tells you I'm in the middle of it. The activity itself is what's important. Let's make it even simpler. Just think of it like this. Simple equals completion. Continuous equals activity. One is about a finished fact, and the other is about an ongoing story. This example is just fantastic because it makes the whole idea so clear. She has made a cake. What's the result? We have a cake to eat. The job is done. But she has been making a cake. What's the focus there? It's the duration, the activity. And the evidence is that the kitchen is totally covered in flour and eggshells. We're focused on the messy, time-consuming process, not the finished product. Okay, so just when you think you've got it all figured out, there is one little exception, a secret rule, if you will, that you really need to know. This is what will make you a true master of these tenses. And it's all about something called state verbs. So what in the world are they? Well, state verbs, sometimes called stative verbs, don't describe actions. They describe states of being, like thoughts, feelings, senses, or possession. Think of words like know, love, see, or own.
you can't really do these things for a period of time in the same way you can, say, run or read.
And here is the golden rule you need to remember. We just don't use these kinds of verbs in continuous tenses, ever. For example, you would never say, I have been knowing him for 10 years. It just sounds wrong, doesn't it? The correct way is always with the simple tense. I have known him for 10 years. So even when we're talking about duration, these state verbs break the rule and always stick with the simple form.
Okay, theory is great, but practice is really where it all clicks into place. So let's look at this first sentence. I study English for 5 years. So you have to ask yourself, are we focused on the result or the duration? Well, that little clue for 5 years is all about duration, right? So we'd say, I have been studying. See, you've totally got this.
So the next time you find yourself hesitating between these two tenses, just ask yourself that one simple question. Am I talking about the result or am I talking about the duration? Answering that one question will give you the right answer every single time. And just like that, you've gone and mastered one of the most confusing puzzles in English.